Hello, I'm Jenny Fern and welcome to my library. I am a chaotic neutral mechanical engineer who's really into permaculture and wants to talk about books. So let's talk about books. So today I have an exciting video to me because I love my animals. It is recommending books to my pets based on their personalities, even though they can't read. I have 4 pets. I have 3 cats and 1 dog, and I think we should go in order of like seniority. So the cat that I've had the longest is Gordon. So I've had Gordon since my 2nd year of college. So it has been over 10 years. It's been like 12 years. So this is Gordon. And he is the oldest pet that I have. He is, I don't know, like 12 years or something old. He was born under my parents' bed. He came into our lives completely by accident. His mom was a small, cute little cat who was pretty timid, but my mom fell in love with her at a pet shelter. And when she was adopted, she did have like the shaved belly spaying scar going on. It was reasonable to assume, and it was explicitly said, that she had been spayed. She got pregnant. She had a ton of kittens, like 8 kittens or something, under my parents' bed. They were born on Easter. And so I celebrate Gordon's birthday every Easter. Sorry, I love him so much. He's like a Totoro. He's just rolling around with his belly up. So Gordon's temperament, he is the sweetest boy. He is super friendly. He loves getting pets on his belly. He will never get overstimulated with pets on his belly. You could like rub your face in his belly and he won't get upset. Is also very stubborn. If he wants something, he will keep at it for hours. So we have these automatic cat feeders for if we're going away for like a night, and he will rock the cat feeder back and forth for like literally hours. There's like teeth marks and scratching marks on them. He also will meow at a door incessantly until he's let in to the room. Well, he's a senior cat at this point, and we had a couple scares like early winter where he was getting sick. He got really sick for 1 week. We ended up tweaking our scheduling with him because he got sick again. And we were just thinking he's probably too old to be outside unattended this much. We've had him indoors a lot more, and he basically only goes outside with me supervised if I'm gardening on the weekends or in the evening. So I had Gordon in my apartment in college when I was a sophomore in college, and at that time he was kind of like an adolescent kitten, or like full kitten to adolescent kitten. He would get into a lot of trouble. He was always opening all of my cabinets. If I had the oven open to vent it out, he would go in the oven when it was more cool. Kind of a nightmare when he was younger. He was very pushy, but again, also just the sweetest boy. Also, I will say, when he was a kitten, he was very small. He was the smallest kitten, and he had his like rib cage was really weird. So I thought something might be wrong with him, but it turns out he's just a huge cat, and so his rib cage was just like really open. Again, I have no idea why he's a Maine Coon because his mom didn't look like a Maine Coon. Gordon also has a kink in his tail. It's a sign of inbreeding. He has a big crook in the tail. Hey bud, you want to come over so I can show them your tail? So this is an example of how trusting he is. So his tail, it has like a 90-degree bend in it. He's a really big guy. He's really quite large. Okay, so now that you know a little bit about him, let's pick out some books. I have the BFG, and that is because Gordon is a big, friendly giant. He is large, he is very friendly, We had a stray at one point that was just like following him around the garden. The vibe that Gordon has around with various stray cats is that they like trust him for some reason and they want to be around him. So the BFG is about a giant who is unlike the other giants. He is friendly, and Sophie is a young girl. She has been taken in the middle of the night with a giant, and so this is about like their relationship and what comes of this. So the next book I have to recommend for Gordon is Charlotte's Web, because Gordon really is like Charlotte from Charlotte's Web in the way that he guides and treats Louie. So Lou is our most recent cat, and their relationship is just so sweet because Gordon he cleans him. When they used to both go outside, he would take care of him when they were outside. Louie cannot be trusted on his own. Gordon just has this very parental vibe with Louie that I think is so sweet and so loving. So Charlotte's Web is about a pig named Wilbur who had been raised and saved by this young girl named Fern, but now he's being raised in a barn, and he's living in this barn with all these other creatures, and one of those creatures is a spider named Charlotte. And Charlotte has this protective, motherly figure to Wilbur. She helps to save him from a poor demise, and it's just a really lovely story. Next, I have a book that I have not read fully. I have read up to basically the halfway point. I've gotten to page 141, and that is Anne of Green Gables, which I had a wonderful time when I was reading this, but I just stopped reading it for some reason. So the reason I'm recommending Anne of Green Gables for Gordon is, again, because of his absolute joy of being outside. You can see he just kind of lights up. He runs around, he checks on everything, he chases butterflies, it's the cutest thing. The other thing that I think suits him with this book is his stubbornness. I feel like Anne and him are pretty similar in their stubbornness and in their freeness, I suppose. So I do feel bad about him being more indoors, but again, I think it's safer for him. Anne of Green Gables is about this girl named Anne. She is an orphan who's been taken into this household, and the idea was that this household needed some sort of like working boy, and instead they got Anne, who is a very excitable, is stubborn, just life-loving girl. She can get very confused or obstinate at times, but she just loves being alive and has this wonderful opportunity to be loved and give love. She just seems to have so much love. And I also have Pilgrim at Tinker Creek by Annie Dillard. And again, this is just because of his absolute love and enjoyment of the outdoors. He loves looking outside, he loves laying in the grass, he loves scrambling up a apricot tree and looking out along the drainage ditch and all of that stuff. So I think now that he's, again, more indoors, he would appreciate reading this book and experiencing nature through Annie Dillard's eyes. So the next pet that I have to talk about is Clover. Clover is currently in bed with my husband. She loves her routine of being able to get up early at like 7 or 6:30. I feed all the animals, take her out, and then she gets to go back into bed with Papa. So it's her favorite thing. Anyway, so I'm not gonna show her because I don't want to disturb the whole routine. but she is, oh, she's down. Okay, I hear her. Oh, hi baby. Okay, so she heard me talking about her, obviously. Here she is. Here she is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, I love her so much. Okay, well, I'll have to wait to talk about her to another time. I am back from a somewhat long intermission. It is now the afternoon, and I have been out doing some gardening because it is really in the swing of spring where I'm living. I was talking to you about Clover, my little doggie, who is staring at me right now, which I shall show you. There she is. There she is. And I also have a Lou up there, who I'll talk about soon. Oh, there she is. Oh, hi. You can tell I'm talking about you. Oh, thank you. So we got her in 2018, I think. I do have a clip from when we first got her. I was doing some vlogs, so I can input a clip from that time.
Clover. Good girl.
Very good girl.
Yes! 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 Good girl. Clover. Good girl. Good girl. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Hi! What are you doing? What are you doing? Dewis. She was a very young puppy when we got her. We got her from a shelter, and she had been some sort of gutter puppy in Bakersfield, I think. We thought that she was going to be more of like a German Shepherd, and she is 25% German Shepherd, but she's also quite small. Her breakdown is 1/4 German Shepherd, and then 1/8 of all of the following, which are Cocker Spaniel, Pomeranian, Miniature Poodle, Chihuahua, and Australian Cattle. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, Dachshund. I feel like if you look at her, you can kind of get it. I think the only thing that I can't really see in her is the Cocker Spaniel, but everything else, I feel like it fits. We love her so much. She is very intelligent. She loves doing tricks. She likes doing scent work. She likes running around, but she also really loves cuddling in bed. She isn't the best cuddler if it's like the daytime, but at night she's really snuggly. She loves hot weather. She's not a big fan of the rain. She kind of hates the rain, to be honest, and she doesn't really like the cold either. She really loves a hot summer day. So the books that I have for Clover are The Catcher in the Rye, and this is because she is a very nervous, anxious dog, and she's also quite judgmental. There are certain things that she does not like. She does not like children. She does not like bicycles. She doesn't like motorcycles. She doesn't trust Lou at all. 100% does not trust Louie. And she makes her opinions very well known. She is effective at communicating her dislikes, but she does also kind of have that naivete, or like, I don't know, there's like a youthfulness in this book that I feel like she has. And yes, she is a very anxious girl. Anytime we have her in the car, she starts getting really hyped up, and anytime like there's a turn signal, she'll stand up. If ever Matt and I are like getting ready to leave the house at a time that we wouldn't usually get ready to leave the house, she starts whining and getting upset. So that's why I recommend The Catcher in the Rye. Oh, hello. Okay. 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 So the next book that I have to recommend for Clover is The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake by Amy Bender. This is about a young girl who has a unique ability to taste the emotions of the person who prepared her food, and also be able to taste like where the food came from, like how it was produced. And that causes her some strife in her life from a very young age. And it is a lot about family dynamics. It is a wonderful book. I really loved my experience reading this book. The reason I recommend it for Clover is a little bit of a silly one. Clove loves snacks and she loves picking food out from my garden. She picked a radish. Let me show you it because it's ridiculous. She plucked this thing right out from the ground. Oh, it's a Shmeeb. Hi, Shmeeb. Hi. It's your turn, but not yet. So the reason why I picked the particular sadness of lemon cake for Clover is because she loves snacks. She loves eating food. She eats such a variety of food from the garden. She likes broccoli. She likes cauliflower. She found some cauliflower florets in the garden yesterday and she was so ecstatic. She plucked off a piece and then ran off and she was so happy. She likes picking radishes and chewing on radishes. She likes eating fennel. She loves snacks, particularly vegetables and fruits. She once tried to climb our apricot tree to get at apricots. It was wild. She almost got there too. She loves to lay in the hot, hot sun. It is one of her favorite things to be a flat little dog, get a tan on her tummy, and just steam alive in like 110 degree heat. She is a glutton for the sun. And there is a lot of powerful sun in Life of Pi. However, I think if she were on a boat in the middle of the ocean, she would not survive. She would die immediately. I just don't even want to imagine her being on a lifeboat. I think she would puke continuously and unrecoverably, I guess, irrecoverably. Selected a book called Sowing Seeds in the Desert by Masanobu Fukuoka, who is a quite well-known figure in the permaculture space. Sowing Seeds in the Desert is about sowing seeds in the desert. And a lot of it is rooted in California and reversing or preventing the spread of the desert or the desertification of California by distributing masses of seeds in areas that are largely devoid of life. So this book I've selected because she loves being in the garden, and I think if she could, she would plant things, considering how much she likes to snack on things in the garden. And she loves the heat. I don't think she particularly wants a desert. She just wants a hot, nice place to live. So we have Pebble still behind me, and Pebble is the animal that we acquired third most recently. We got this little girl in the meat of the pandemic. Her name is Pebble. She's new. And feeding my cat and making sure everybody's fed, and then I can get coffee for myself and feed myself. I had a bit of a reading slump recently, maybe the last month or month and a half. I read a novella and I just felt so clouded in my mind the whole time that I was reading it. I wasn't really sure what was going on. Our family friends, they live near Yosemite and they had some barn cats. And I think both barn cats got pregnant and had a litter of kittens at the same time. And so they had a ton of kitties to get rid of. And Pebble is one of these basically feral-born, Yosemite woods-born cats. And she is just the cutest little thing. She's very small. She's our smallest cat. She is fully black. She's an interesting one in terms of personality. She is the least needy of all of the pets, and yet she has very effective ways of interacting in our home. She likes to stay in our bedroom most of the time, which is a pretty dark room. And she has a special knock to get into our bedroom at night because the two boys are not allowed in our bedroom at night. She kind of just like shakes the door in a very specific way that those two don't know how to do, so we can let her in. So she's got this like speakeasy vibe. She is so content being an indoor girl. When she was young, she fell out of this window here because the screen fell out. She must have been pushing on it or something. And we didn't notice for like, maybe like an hour that she had fallen out of the house. And we found her just plopped, just waiting directly below the window, just waiting for us to pick her up and bring her back inside. She can be pretty playful. When she was younger, her and Clover used to play on like the bed. Sometimes we would watch F1 on our bed and they would play with each other. It was very cute. She's just super easygoing. She doesn't like to be touched when she doesn't want to be touched. She will bite, but she does very soft bites. She will cuddle, but only if you don't touch her very much for a long time and just let her lay on you, and then eventually she'll let you pet her and she'll be really happy about it. So she is very particular in what she wants out of relationships. It just works out. She's just such a cool girl, and we love her. We love her very much. The books for Pebble. Number 1, I have Convenience Store Woman. I also feel like Earthlings. I read Earthlings more recently. I feel like both of these books kind of envelop or capture her personality in some way. The reason I selected Convenience Store Woman is because she has such a contentment leading this life in our home. And she's very effective at being in our home. Like, she has her quirks that just work here. The main character in Convenience Store Woman is also very content living her life as a worker at the convenience store. She knows the flow of work there very well, and she like feels like she needs to do more for society's sake. And I'm just so happy that Pebble doesn't feel like she has to do anything more for anybody. So anyway, I feel like Pebble has like such an independence in her thought that is pretty similar. So the next book that I have kind of requires a bit of a lore. So with some of our animals, we have this like extended lore of like stories about them just for fun. Like, you know, what are people to do but make up fictions for their pets? So for example, Clover is both the star quarterback of her school's football team and the Flyer cheerleader. She has the vibe of both of those people, so she does both, and her grades are bad. She is a dog who has perfect attendance but bad grades. Like, that's her vibe. Pebble, on the other hand, her father is Satan, and she is a demon, and she is so excited to take the whole family to hell with her when the time comes. That is our fiction for Pebble, that she is a little demonic presence, and she's just waiting to get called back. To suit that fiction, I have Sabriel by Garth Nix. It's been a while since I've read this, but there's something to do with the underworld and this being like the daughter of this job that is fulfilled in the underworld. And so she's somewhat taking on this role. I think she's searching for her father, and it's just got this bit of darkness and mystery and also some fantastical aspects. So I'd recommend Sabriel for Pebb. The next book I have for Pebble is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. And the reason why I have this is because she is such a wallflower. She is so much more of an observer than an active participant. She loves to sit in the corner and watch. Right now, she is peering out the window very intently. I feel like there must be a stray cat outside or something. Whereas Lou is, like, hitting the blinds. I don't even know what he's doing. But she is content to sit and watch for hours. She'll sit in the corner and watch, like, the whole family when we're on the couch. Like, that's her vibe. I think she would relate to the concept of being a wallflower. A book that I really cannot remember too much of the plot is The Cave by Jose Saramago. I read this in my comparative literature class in college, but I do recall that it was paired up with the allegory of the cave by Plato in terms of, like, its meaning. And I really should reread this at some point. The concept of the cave, I think, fits Pebble again because she is more of an observer type and she's so content being in a small room and looking out the window. She doesn't seem to want to go outside. She just wants to look out the window. She's content being safe. She's content where she is. And there's this whole other world out there that she isn't experiencing. So that's why I was thinking The Cave. But again, I don't really remember this book super well. I just know it's associated with the allegory of the cave. Hi, Louie. Can I grab you? Will you accept love? Here he is. He has this thing about him where he, like, won't make eye contact with cameras. Okay, so here he is. He's kind of freaking out right now, but he's also, like, purring at the same time because basically the moment that you touch him, he'll start purring. So we got Lou in the summer of 2022. We plucked him off of our rooftop. There was a litter of kittens who were frolicking around on our rooftop. There was a feral mom, a feral dad, and there was a litter of 3 kittens. 2 of them have been adopted by somebody that we can still get updates from. And we kept Lou. We had these kittens in our bathroom hanging out in the day when we were at work, and it would be chaos during the evening with them running around with our already existing 3 pets, and we were trying to adopt them out for basically the whole time that we had them in our lives because we did not want to have these cats because we already had 2 cats and a dog. We have like a 900 square foot house, so we were content with what we had, but there were kittens that needed not really to be saved, but to be removed from our stray cat ecosystem. 2 of the kittens we had named Pistachio and Gizmo. They were adopted and they're still with each other. And then we kept Louie, who was originally named Dumper, and we renamed him Louie. He's sitting directly across from me and staring at blank space. There he is. I don't really want to refocus just so that I don't get out of focus. Lou has some genetics from our area that are very feral. And occasionally he'll go into this very feral mode where if he has a feather in his mouth, he'll just be really feral. If he's in the garage for too long, he'll go pretty feral. And otherwise, he is the sweetest little boy in the world. He's a little chaotic. He's a little stupid. He's pretty clumsy, but he is the sweetest boy. He wants to cuddle. He wants to purr. He wants to be cleaned by Gordon. He is a pile of love. The books that I have for him are a little troubling, so I'll try to explain myself. So the first book that I have is David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, which I have not read all the way. I did start reading it last year, and I wasn't reading this children's abridged version, I was reading the real one. And it is way too long. But what I will say, Lou came from our literal gutters. He was living on the streets, literally plucked from our rooftop. And I feel like that's very David Copperfield. He came from a rough situation, and we have brought him into a super loving, super comfortable home. See, now we get into the troublesome zone. I have Billy Budd, and Billy Budd is a short novella by Herman Melville. It is about a sailor on a ship who is tall, athletic, noble-looking, friendly, innocent, helpful, and ever cheerful. And Louie is super muscular. He is very sweet. He is such a sweet boy. He's doing those cute little like blinks at me right now. He is very innocent. And then for whatever reason, he is the target of a man's absolute ire, and shit hits the fan for Billy. But I feel like the description of Billy as a man is the description of Louie as a cat. Next we have Of Mice and Men, which in a very similar way, Lenny feels very similar to Louie, a man of tremendous size with the mind of a young child. Just Lou has this big innocence, but also this like feral strength and mindset sometimes, where he'll just sit on top of the car in the garage and look at cobwebs moving for like 4 hours. And then once he's in the house, he's like, oh yes, please hold me and love me. When he was a kitten, we first had him in the garage with his brother Pistachio, and they were in a kennel together. Lou banged his face up against the grate of the kennel basically all night, assumedly, and his nose was a big scab for like the whole time that we had him, because he was healing. He constantly has these like little scabs on him. He's very clumsy, and he does get into fights with Pebble a lot, where he just seemingly innocently runs after her, and then she defends herself because she's very small, and she could easily get picked on, and she just beats Lou the fuck up, and Lou never learns. He never learns. So that's why I feel like he's like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. And in such a similar way, I didn't realize how these were going to be so similar. I also selected Lemon by Kwan Yo Sun. There's a character in this story, Kim Hae-on, who is murdered when she is 18 years old. She is described as this character who is very not aware. Just like, for example, there's something about like her not like keeping her lace closed when she's in a skirt. She like doesn't have the awareness to do that, so she's kind of like this innocent and unaware girl. And I just feel like, again, that's kind of what Lou is like. There's a similar sense of like a tragic naivete in these novels. And yeah, Louis just seems tragically naive to me sometimes, but he is very sweet. He does also have this side of him that is just a little bit confusing, because he'll really, really want to cuddle with Clover, and then he'll lose her trust completely by just suddenly biting her ear. So that's the shit that he does. And he's just an enigma. But of course we love him. One of the reasons why we still have him is because we just thought, like, he needs us. There's a sense above all the others that he needs us to keep him safe and happy and loved. Hi, Lou. You want to come over? Do you want a little hug? Hi. Look at your eye boogers. This is him. Ah! Again, those are my pets who I love so much. I can see all of them around me right now. Those are the books that I recommend based on their personalities. As you can see, I've got quite a diverse group here. I don't know, every animal is just a unique little being, and it's wonderful to see who they are, be a part of their lives, I guess. The other thing that is amazing to me is that I've seen all of these animals since they were really young, and not really on purpose. Like, some of these animals have happened upon us by chance. As honestly, most of them have happened upon us by chance. Clover was the only one that we really picked. We picked Pebble because we thought she was a boy. We thought she was a little boy black cat. We had really bad luck with female cats, so I didn't want to have female cats. I wanted only boy cats just because I had a weird hang up about it. And Pebble's just the most low maintenance, trouble-free girl. Okay, I gotta stop talking about the animals. I love the animals so much. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that now you understand a little bit about each animal and their personalities. Now you know their names and who they are and what type of creature they are. Please, please, I'd love in the comments below if you could give me book recommendations based on your pet's personality and like tell me about your pet. I would love, love, love to read that. That sounds like so cute and wholesome. So I'll leave that open for you guys. If you liked this video, consider sharing it with a friend who would also enjoy it, and also consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon.